Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 4 of the Zelda 1 Randomizer Tournament 2024 edition. My name is Magic Friends. I'm here with BBQ.Cov, and we're in a 2-1 race between BrewersFanJP and PedanticPotato. BBQ, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm Magic Friends. How you doing tonight?
It's a Friday. It's a good day. I've had the whole week off, so because I work in the school district, so it's great.
Very nice. Wow, glad to hear that. So this is going to be a great race. We're about to send the runners live in the race room here in a second. But yeah, this is a matchup between one runners. Pedantic on the left, JP on the right. The winner of this match punches their ticket to the bracket round, to the upper bracket round once we get out of the 5th week of the Swiss. So there's a lot on the line in this matchup.
Yeah, the ability to take some time off and rest your brain after a lot of content. I mean, we were just talking in the pre-race chat that there's currently 42 races a week going on. So being able to take that time off while the playing stage happens and refresh yourself after 200 plus races is going to be really important for these runners.
Absolutely. Yeah, and these are two very good runners, so they'll be able to handle most anything that they gets thrown at them. But yeah, you're absolutely right. This is a marathon, not a sprint. Even though this is a 1 versus 1 race, so making sure you pace yourself and keep your wits about you is going to be the name of the game here. So this is going to be Spuds versus Suds, as someone in chat said, as we get started here just by Death Armos.
No recorder, because that'd be in our B item slot. Looks like a raft to start, which is probably the least fun item to find there, but at least it gets you those 2 checks really quickly. And when you go to the coast, you get to stay over there and go get your second raft check when you check for the ladder item.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's just 2 checks, but they're ones you can easily prioritize. Well, Death Armos is living up to its name. Blue Wizzy's on the overworld. Is this even worth... Oh, okay. That's kind of worth it.
All right. I mean, that's a huge thing. Knowing that you have combat upgrade quickly available changes a lot of your routing and a lot of thought processes. Like, if you find a couple overworld hearts, you may just up A and go get that sword immediately.
Yeah, and there are some runners in this field who seeing that sequence of those 2 screens, $2 bombs are awesome, and also seeing that the candle's 73 rupees, might consider retrying if they can find an overworld heart or 2 quickly, and getting the candle out of the wood sword cave and getting the white sword out of the white sword cave, if they can, which we don't know if they can yet or not.
Dr. J would be immediately up Aing this.
Oh yeah, and there's strategy involved in that. There's good reason to do exactly that. But and it gets a bomb drop. That's good.
Yeah, these are 1 heart gorillas on the overworld, so we're going to have a couple enemies right near start that we can farm bombs off of. It looks like there's about 12 of them between those 2 screens, so that'll make it helpful. We do also see that's our first shot of second quest snakes, so somewhere in here is some second quest dungeons.
For all you fans of Second Quest, and I know there are tens of you out there. Yeah, guess what? The nightcap, we got Second Quest something. We're not sure what yet, but we'll find out here in a minute.
It does. The nice thing you can say about this is that we've already eliminated 2 of the more frustrating enemy sets from our dungeons. Wizrobes are going to be on the overworld, so we're not going to see any of them in dungeons. I mean, we're not going to get sniped by any random gorilla boomerangs in them either. Dungeons look like they're going to be mostly Lionel and Darknut based.
So that's good. That's certainly easier to manage. It's not free of risk, but it's certainly better than the alternative, which is having to clear room after room of 8 blue Wizrobes to make your way through. Is there's level 2 at the Grave Armos.
It looks like one of our take any's takes us way into the top of Death Mountain, so Potato's going to take advantage of those early 8 bombs and clear out some of this upper left corner of the map.
Yeah, with bombs this cheap, I do like this play. Death Mountain is something a lot of runners will deprioritize early, but if you can get $2 bombs and you've got one HP red gorillas that can give you easy bombs, I don't see a reason not to come up here.
It's also the kind of play where if you find, it's not going to take you that long to clear this off, but if you find something up here that's especially valuable, like a dungeon, or like say you find a dungeon that has the red ring in it, there's a good shot that you get that advantage and your opponent doesn't for a long time.
Very, very true. On JP's side, he just took a transport in level 2, which almost assuredly indicates that, plus the shape of the map we've got here, that it's second quest front half. This looks for all the world like the A in the misspelling of Zelda in levels 1 through 5 in second quest.
Yeah, it looks a lot of up and down staircases, also very indicative of that second quest, even if you don't have the map. Up and down doorways, not staircases.
Right. So if JP recognizes that, he might want to start pushing on some walls, because there are, I think, 2 walk-through walls. There we go. He's going to try that over there to the left, and he might be able to push down if he wants to.
Yeah, but this is the ooh, that's an ugly Triforce spot. You're going to have to burn a key just to get to your Triforce in that room.
Yeah, and second quest 2 does, like first quest 1, does like to eat a lot of keys. If you're not careful. JP's going to put those bombs to very good use. And interesting on Pedantic's side that he saw a secret cave there in the screen he just left and elected to leave it. He's got 13 rupees. There are some runners who will do this, who will save money on the overworld because they're just worried it's going to get eaten up by door repair charges.
Yeah, he's going to be, with him throwing all these bombs out here, it makes sense that if he can kind of link a bunch of them together, he can have 4 or 5 of them, and seeing that he might also be thinking that, man, these wizards are bodying me all over the place. Like, if I can chain 3 or 4 secrets together, I might be able to afford some combat upgrades, or maybe even like a blue ring.
Yeah, we haven't seen, as far as I'm aware, we haven't seen the large secret yet. So that is entirely possible that that our runners may want to prioritize the added defense if they can get it.
What he did find is another take any. So he's got his candle, he's able to clear out, and he's got his potion letter now too, which is another sink on your money in these seeds. Since we know there's second quest front half, that means that we are going to have to deal with some red bubbles too, and the potions help with that a lot.
Oh, without a doubt. The potions, both the letter and the potions you can take out of the Take Any Cave, have a lot more added utility when you have to deal with scenarios like this.
Well, Brewers fans gone through a big chunk, the whole right side of this too. If you notice where the Triforce is, he still doesn't have an item out of here though.
Yeah, he's looking for pretty much everything. I mean, he was at the top left of the A and was trying. He's going to exit and re-enter, see if he can pirouette this. He was trying to get down from there into the room next to the Triforce, and no dice. But he's able to walk through this wall. Hopefully that'll help get him part of the way.
Okay, so Potato just found his level 2. He's marking it on his map now. That's the pause that you see there is just filling in his tracker. You know what? He might be blue. He might be red bubble locked.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
There's no reason not to kill those keys.
Yeah, I mean, he could try and exit and re-enter with the blue candle if he wanted, but or no, he doesn't have a blue candle yet. So no, that's not going to work, and he didn't want to use bombs to do it. So but thankfully he's not far away from where he needs to go. So, and on Pedantic's side, is this the transport room?
Yeah, this is where our loop-de-loops are through. Did he go and touch the fairy fountain?
He up aid. Right? He hard up aid. So that up aid saved. So that gets your sword back.
Sure.
Yep, and there's our map officially confirming what we strongly suspected, which is it's 2Q front half.
I mean, technically, it is possible that we rolled an exact duplicate map, right? Have we ever seen that where, like, a Shape's seed actually gave us a map that was not a shape, was a traditional shape?
I've seen it a couple times very close where it will generate a map of one that is one room off of being identical to the E in Second Quest 1. That happened in a casual race I was doing a few months ago. It was just missing one room in one of the tendrils of the E. It was so weird. Well, that's not an E, but that's an A. That's an any key on the floor for JP.
Yeah, that thing just saved him a lot of time having to dig out any other dungeons. Or dig out any other keys, I should say.
Yeah, and this here is almost assuredly our stair item. So took JP a little bit to get over to this side of the map. He had to spend a key or two to do it, but he's going to be rewarded for his efforts here.
Well, and Potato's left, so he's decided to prioritize overworld exploration more. And that might hurt because that's the any key plus the recorder is going to make things a lot easier for JP to dig out the rest of his items.
Boy, that's 2 of the 3 best sticks you could get out of level 2 right now, because that not only enables you to open up 11 additional spots in the overworld, that gets you around from clear dungeon to clear dungeon. Meanwhile, Pedantic's found level 5.
So level 5 is the Z. This has 2 transports. Generally speaking, the bottom section, the middle section, and the top section are going to be split up. So there's a lot of staircases you have to deal with, and a lot of rooms that'll look like it's our item, but aren't. It can also very easily get you blocked by things like it's very linear, so you can get blocked by gomas and dig doggers real easy in here.
You definitely can. I mean, 2Q5 is one of those levels where it's just like it giveth and it taketh a lot of times. Yeah, Pedantic's getting some bad news there. You were talking about linearity. Pedantic's gonna have to spend that key in that room he just left after he walks through this wall. He didn't want to do it because he only got 2, but when JP gets in here, he'll have no such compunction.
Fortunately for him, it looks like this is a pretty straightforward enemy set, so we should be able to dig this out. Pretty straightforward, and then hopefully there's something useful in here too. Oh, never mind. That is hard ladder block.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I mean, at least you get that information 4 rooms in. And you haven't spent 2/3 of the level in there, and you're missing an item and a Triforce, and then you find out you're ladder blocked. So you'd rather get that information now. Pedantic's going to up an A and go back to start, and looks like they're both headed the same direction to start burning stuff.
Yeah, and Pedantic's killing those ropes because he knows when he comes back across this raft, those ropes are just going to body him back onto the platform, and you can very easily waste 30 seconds or a minute trying to get off of that little platform.
Oh, I can verify that with personal experience. One new bit of information on JP's side is that we've seen our medium secret now. It's the maximum 40 rupees.
So just that alone makes it a lot more accessible to go grab your cheap items now. I wouldn't be surprised if you see JP pick up either an arrow pickup, since he doesn't need keys, either an arrow pickup or maybe even the meat block if he finds it, because level 3 could just have that nasty meat block where we are not allowed to go anywhere.
Yeah, 3 does that. As there's 9 on Candle Row on Pedantic's side. No, JP gets bodied there right before getting to Vanilla 1. But yeah, I am generally in favor of an arrow purchase early if you can do it. You know, even if Pedantic gets bodied by that blue Wizrobe, he's going to go and get his health back. But even if the next thing you find is the silver arrows, it's just as often that you can find bow before silvers, and that gives you white sword range damage that you can deal. So if it's not too expensive, it's probably not a bad purchase at all.
Oh, that was level 4, the screen that JP died on. So level 4 is the D. Level 4 does have 3 items in our second quest setup. It also has it's basically like a huge square of First Quest 7.
It really is. It's what the kids call a thick boy. And meanwhile, on JP's side, he's got a bunch of money now because he found the large secret down at the southwestern tutor spot, and that is 94 rupees.
And it looks like he's going to make his way. This is a recorder spot. He's going to make his way up to the grave because that's full clearable for him. He can get that one extra recorder spot that's in the grave. That's what is that? 2Q6, I think.
That is 2Q6. You're right. And I like what he's doing with when you get an item that's useful, and it's something you think your opponent may not have found. Start using it immediately because you never know what it's going to cover up.
Yeah, JP is also a very good Link to the Past runner, and that in Link to the Past they say you basically follow your items. So when it gives you something, you're like, yep, the next thing that's probably blocking me is probably behind this first item that I found.
Absolutely. And yeah, JP, yeah, you're absolutely right. JP is a terrific Link to the Past runner. We've got several really good Link to the Past runners in this field. This is a loaded field of 84 entrants of, coming from all different backgrounds, strictly Z1 runners to Dragon Warrior to Link to the Past to Z2 to Super Metroid. Yeah, so it's a field of just everyone's really, really talented. To answer your question in chat, when we say 1Q1, so we're talking about first quest, vanilla first quest, so regular Legend of Zelda first quest, level 1's location, which is that little island right in the middle of the map that you walk to. So yeah, you'll hear us do a lot of shorthand when we're talking about things like this in terms of 1Q and 2Q. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, we're still in 8-bit world, so everything kind of looks muddy and the same. But by referencing like the first quest spaces, it gives you an idea of like kind of where on the minimap things happen to be if they're not on the screen right now.
Absolutely right. Yeah, and we are in 8-bit land, so some people do like to keep track, because there's another take ending for Pedantic. Some people do like to denote when they're doing tracking, and there's lots of different ways you can track as you race. Some people like to denote by coordinates based on just kind of whatever their system is. So it just gets different strokes for different folks.
All right, so there's our arrow shop underneath that second Arbos location over here, and at level 6 right outside the last Arbos location.
That's not a bad find for Pedantic, especially if this is the Armos item right here, which it is. It's just a heart.
Do you up A now? That's a real question. Like, he can up A. He's guaranteed to get the white sword. Obviously as soon as he dies, he's going to go grab it. But never mind.
Well, you called it. As soon as he dies, well, poof. So yeah, and he's going to save. And let's see if he runs immediately. Yep, that's exactly what he's going to do.
There was some tension between he was on the opposite side of the map. Do I go get this now, or do I try to get to or do I just go get my sword and deal with stuff? But tension's gone. He'll pick up his white sword. It looks like JP's also going to try it with only 4 hearts, but he died on that screen as well. And that's a nasty, nasty screen.
It is. There's a way you can, if the orange wizrobes are blocking you have to be very precise here in order to get where you need to go and not take the bop, and Pedantic does it.
Just up A. Don't go back out that door. It's not good.
Yep, up A and save. That, yeah. Now you never have to go back there ever.
So he has knowledge of 3 different dungeons now. Let's see what he does with that.
Given all the overworld combat Pedantic scene, I completely understand him wanting to top off on hearts. He's gonna go. Oh, he's going back to 2. Okay. He doesn't know how good a play this is, but this is absolutely the right play for him.
Yeah, he should be able to get out of here. As long as he doesn't get red bubble cursed, he should be able to get out of here pretty simple. And he checked this cross section first, which means he's gonna find he should probably find his items a little bit faster than BrewersFan did, who cleared off the whole right side for no gain.
Yeah, and 2 is one of those levels where, at first blush when you look at it, you're like, oh, it's not that bad. But It's got one set of transports, and it can be, like you said, really linear and kind of force you to take long, circuitous routes to get what you need, and it can eat up a lot of time if you're not careful.
So Brewers fans going into this level 4. Like we said, it's very blocky. It tends to be very twisty and turny because stuff is connected to, almost everything is connected, but like in weird ways. But there are 3 items in here, so this is going to be the most dense location we can find without finding level 8. Level 1 will not have any third item in it like it does in first quest.
Correct. And we've seen this in some races this week where normally the default, if you're running shapes dungeons, for example, is that 1 is something you want to dig. 3 items are in there. But and it's small, but the difference with a second quest 1 is you're short an item, so the math doesn't quite work the same in terms of the utility. As JP's going to grab his Triforce out of level 4.
Yeah, I imagine he's going to go back in, but he did work his way all the way up to the north. That gives him. No, maybe he's not. Maybe he's just out of there.
Well, he's got Recorder now, so he can get back here anytime he wants, and that also gives him the ability to get to the middle of the map quickly. Anytime he wants, given its location. That'll be handy as he's exploring, but it'll also be handy when it's time to go to 9.
JP's up to 170 rupees. He's going to be digging up this desert. Like I said, if I'm him, I'd love to see him start picking up some of those semi-required items, the stuff that it's not a luxury, but you might not need it.
I'm totally
just get them checked off before somebody mugs you.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you. It's burning a hole in your pocket, and you don't know if you're ever going to get booked. So saving those rupees up in the hopes that you get useful hints, you could do that, but you're taking a risk. And yeah, you can either spend it on something you might use or spend it on nothing.
All right, Potato's onto this left-hand column. This is where the left column's where his 2 items are. Just a matter of clearing it out. He knows where he's seen the Triforce. It's in that weird, like, offshoot room, but he doesn't know that that's much easier accessible once you get the 2 items out of here.
Yeah, he needs to go down to get those 2 items. He's going in the general direction of the Triforce, which is what you normally want to do. That's fine, but at the same time, yeah, he's going to check this room first to see if it's anything. He should be going south if he can. Like this room, you can kill it if you want, but you can't get what's going to pop. If anything spawns in the middle, you can't get it, so it doesn't exactly do you a lot of good.
And if I'm not mistaken, because he started in a dark room, it's not going to drop him an active item anyways.
I think you're right about that, yeah.
Like, it can drop keys or rupees or bombs, but it can't drop the actual quest item.
Right, and even if it drops something, you can't pick it up, so you're just farming for knowledge at this point. To answer a question in chat, for folks who don't know what we're talking about when we say shapes, so the randomizer has the ability to, rather than spit out the as that is nothing, JP gets sniped. The randomizer has the ability in the settings to spit out, instead of the dungeon shapes that are from the vanilla game first quest or from second quest, to generate its own shapes of dungeons. So a lot of runners in the community, frankly, find that as an interesting challenge, because that's something new you have to decipher. So if we have, for example, shapes 7 through 9, you'll see examples of what we're talking about when those maps appear. In that, we can get some, let's say, interesting concoctions that the randomizer spits out.
Yeah, it's crazy enough that we kind of have a game called Name That Ink Blot, where we try to figure out what shape did the game generate for us.
Oh yeah, that's a fun little side quest we commentators and folks in the chat get to have, because There's just, let's just say the randomizer is very creative in that way. Oh, that's interesting. Pedantic was red bubble cursed and decided to bail out of that too.
Yeah, he got the Triforce already, but he got cursed going back in because he went south of start, and now he's using this refill section to get himself back up to full. Let's see if he takes this warp zone and goes straight back to 2, which looks like he is.
Okay, good, yeah. And he doesn't know that he absolutely should get in there and get those items, but he knows the path now, so he'll be very glad he did. Meanwhile, JP is in 6.
Yeah, 6 has this long tail where JP currently is. It's immediately blocked, but we've got a couple staircases we can take in here. And then the middle section is kind of 2 squares wide. It looks like a giant, like, quarter note. I think that's the right note.
Yeah. I always think of it as kind of like a giant weird-shaped snake, as PedanticPotato gets his any key out of level 2. Meanwhile, JP encounters a Patra and then the shoot room. Yeah, that doesn't look like my idea of fun either, JP.
And this is going to be his item. He'll get the recorder out of here. He'll up A, and he'll be done with 2, and he'll be behind. He'll be pretty much tied up with Brewers Fan. They both have different information right now.
That's a really good point. JP has the 2-to-1 Triforce lead and has maybe seen a little bit more in terms of overworld, but it's not by much, and all it takes is one item in one dungeon to flip this thing on its head.
And the things they've seen are different, because Pedantic's seen a bunch of Death Mountain, Brewers Fan has seen a little bit more of the Lost Hills, so it's just a matter of preference here.
Yeah, and I think I know the runner's preference for this overworld. I think they'd like to throw it right in the garbage.
Yeah, never have to go to Death Arbos again.
Oh my gosh. In some ways, that's not the worst part of it. If JP can get up here, nice decision here to use bombs. Get that. That's an illusory heart, but he's going to duck out and see if he can get his hearts back and respawn.
Well, he's manipulating this room because every time you kill some of the enemies in here, less enemies are going to spawn the next time until you kill all of them. Once you kill all of them, they'll be gone until you move enough squares away. But by killing off those couple of wizards real quick, he was able to just say, you know what, I am worth spending for bombs I can replace later to actually get this done in less than 6 tries.
Yeah, that's a smart strategy on JP's part. He's fluted back to 4. He's seen a lot of the eastern part of the map. Is he going to maybe screen scroll over to Death Mountain from here?
Yeah, there's a lot of there's a couple of new runners in chat or people who are just exploring this, so I would definitely recommend that when you first get into the game, especially when you get these randomized overworld enemies. Some of them can be really rough. A good tactic is to just kill all but one of them on some of the screens that you're having trouble with, and then you'll only ever have to deal with the one that's left, because it won't reset until you've killed every enemy on the screen. If you just leave, like, you find a screen that has 8 blue Gorias or a bunch of these red wizrobes, if you kill all but one of them, you no longer have to deal with any except for the last one.
Yeah, that is a very savvy trick to pull off. When it's tough to remember to do in the heat of battle. JP was trying to do it there on that screen, but unfortunately didn't get on the half tile, was on the full tile, and got zapped, so back to start he goes.
Alright, so this looks like we're finally going to get over to some of these lower burn bushes and maybe even the coast area. We haven't seen any of the coast. We haven't seen our ladder item yet, and we haven't seen our did we see what was up in Casino Row? That's what I'm trying to think of.
Now, Casino Corner, not yet. Yeah, we've seen between the two runners a good chunk of the map, but there are some definite open spots and JP seems to be prioritizing one of them, which is the South Coast. That'll get him info if he can get there safely about what our coast item is to need the ladder for.
So the runners need to find, they have to find all 8 dungeons. They have to get the Triforce out of all 8 dungeons. They're also going to have to find the bow, and they have to find the silver arrows. The bow and the silver arrows can be anywhere, including level 9. It's not every flag set has that, but this one does. And then, of other items of note, combat upgrades like the white sword or a ring are important, and also that recorder. The recorder, the raft, which there's runners already have. There's one more item called the power bracelet that could block something on the overworld, and then the ladder is the item that we need to get through dungeons, because there's a lot of water in dungeons that you can't go across.
Absolutely. Boy, JP is just... maybe there's a reason we're not checking the South Coast, and that's because it's infested with blue wizrobes in really narrow corridors here.
Yeah, JP is trying to pull off a screen scroll trick, which is if you stand on the correct pixel on the right or left side of the screen, you can do that little blip that he just did. Trying to do it with one heart and knowing that you can get sniped at any time by a wizrobe is really intense. So even though he had to reset it a couple times, like, good on him.
Yeah, he was very smart about it, and he was patient. He didn't want to have to get sent back to start. Oh, well, that looks important on the coast.
I looked at chat for 1 second. What happened?
We have silvers on the coast, so if ladder wasn't required before, it absolutely is now. And JP also finds 3 over by the coast.
And 3 was recorder block, so it is even, again, another important reason for Pedantic to have gotten back in there. 3 is a letter L with a little tiny dot over where that blinking light is. We just went through the meat block, which is good to see that now. If we had seen the meat block coming from the other direction, we'd have to stop and go by meat.
Yeah, so at least for 3, meat not required. Now, there's always the possibility that there will be a second meat block somewhere, but in this case, it's not going to slow down JP getting through this level 3.
Yeah, level 3 is really small, so getting the items out of here tends to happen really fast as long as you don't get that meat block to happen. Yeah, now you see Pedantic also sees that location, goes, yeah, that's bad. BrewersFan tried to use the candle as a damage boost. You have invulnerable frames when you hit your own candle, but the red bubble just heat seekered him.
But when the seed giveth, taketh, the seed also giveth. In this case, in the form of blue bubbles, just one door to the south. So that's good.
If you've never played the second quest for Zelda, a couple of the differences are the enemy sets, and the most important one here is going to be these red and blue bubbles. The bubbles that flash, they take away your sword for a temporary amount of time, like 5 seconds. The red bubbles take it away permanently, and the only way to get rid of it, you just can't use your sword at all. The only way to get rid of it is either to reset the game, touch one of the fairy fountains, not the ones you can get from, not the ones that can spawn in a dungeon, like you have to leave the dungeon and go touch a fairy fountain, or to pick up a Triforce, or touch a blue bubble. Like, you know, the 3 of those are hard to find. You're not just going to randomly find a Triforce, but if you can find a blue bubble to reset your sword combat.
Yeah, they are the bane. The red bubbles are the bane of a lot of runners' existence with respect to just the level of annoyance. Combat and routing in second quest dungeons is hard enough, but then you throw that on top of it, and you're just like, ugh, why?
And those red bubbles, because they're somewhere in the seed, those red bubbles can be present in level 9. You can end up having to deal with a red bubble room, like, right next to Ganon. And then, what do? You can't take a red bubble hit, because then you can't fight Ganon. So, there's one other way I completely blanked on. You can also drink a potion to get rid of the red bubble curse. Which is why hopefully we see these runners pick up a potion at some point.
Yeah, I think they both have the letter at this point. So, yeah, it would make all the sense in the world for them to to invest in a potion now. Now, obviously, Pedantic Potato can't do that right now because $1 ain't going to buy you much. It'll buy you half a bomb.
Yeah, he stabbed at the bombs earlier because he had $1.
You would think there'd be some sort of like Hyrule coupon program or something that would, like, look, can I do the bombs on layaway or something? Can we do that? We got to kill Ganon here. This is kind of important.
So Pedantic's now in this 3. He's going to find the same thing that JP found. There's a heart in this room, and then there's a heart a couple squares away, and then you have to come back to this room to get your transport to get over to the Triforce.
Steadily we're finding dungeons. JP's found level 7 now up at the vanilla potion letter cave.
All right, so we've seen 2, 3, 4, 7, and 9. We're missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and 9.
Yeah, we've seen 5 as well. I don't have it marked on my map where it was, but we saw it on Pedantic's side, and he was ladder blocked out of it. So, right. Yeah, so we're just missing 1 and 8 at this point. And on JP's side, this looks to me all the world like a First Quest 7, but JP's not going to stick around to find out. He's going to grab this Triforce and get the heck out of Dodge.
I mean, never 7 until it is. Pedantic needs to find his transport. He should recognize now that it's the red bubble room, but you're not excited that it's the red bubble room.
Yeah, you're really not, because it's annoying. But the good news is that you can get in that way. I would not blame him one bit if he didn't want to get that. Oh, no, he's going to see if he can grab the heart just like that. And
that was real slick. I would not have thought of that.
That's very smart on his part. And then ideally you can get the red bubbles to spawn down there where they're not going to bop you. Well, now you got to run.
That was the damage boost I was talking about. He used the damage from the candle to kind of bounce over the red bubble, and he did it successfully there, so he still has his sword.
Yeah, really, really nicely done on Pedantic's part, and he's going to get rewarded with the Triforce right here.
All right, we're finally seeing Casino Row from JP while Pedantic's health fills up. Let's see, we didn't seem like there was much up here except for that level 7. That's a level, though. That's level 1.
Okay, this is the E-shaped level. So, yeah, 2 items in here, both on the ground. JP's going to want to dig this out. And there are the silvers on Pedantic's side. That is the coast spot, for those asking in chat. That's where we're talking about the coast item being. And yeah, that ladder was 100% required before to advance in 5. It's doubly required now.
Yeah, and don't ask us why it's called a ladder. I don't know anybody who uses a ladder to walk over water. And in the game, it says it's a step ladder, but I'm like, step ladder's vertical. That doesn't help either. Why do we use a ladder? But hey, Lake's a creative little dude.
Yeah, and I just find it weird that there's only 1 ladder in all of Hyrule. That just seems like poor planning on the town's part. That there's only 1. I get only having 1 raft in the entire town because who needs to go sailing? But 1 ladder in the entire town. What if everybody's light bulbs go out?
Chad is saying, JP got the book.
Oh, well, we were too busy talking about ladders and light bulbs and stuff. That would be a good find if he did.
All right, so normally the book gives you a wand, the ability to spit fire at the end of its shot. In this randomizer, it can do a lot of things. Currently, the one that's enabled is that if you noticed, all the old men just keep saying "wark, wark" every time we see them. Well, now the book will translate what they're saying into the true text. And there are sections on the overworld that will give us hints telling us where some of our other items are. JP with 161 gold, pretty big deal if he can find one of those hint shops, because it'll give him three true pieces of information about the seed.
Yeah, and he definitely has the money to do something about it. He's looking for that second floor item. That could be it, I think. But yeah, he doesn't want to take the risk of getting bopped. He's hoping to find something just sitting on the floor.
Yeah, especially at half a heart. And Potato's going to end up in this one very shortly. I believe it's the next screen over.
no, JP, he had the map there and he had a heart right at his fingertips, but just got beamed right in the face. So back to starting he goes, but at least he has the information that that's not an item drop in that room. And he's gonna head out here for, oh, he's out of bombs.
I mean, he's out of bombs, but he's got his book out of here. There's Potatoes finding the book. Oh, it's just in a Triforce room, so just lying there for free. Oh, yeah, you can't go that way, JP. That's not allowed.
Yeah, I mean, you can, but you have to be very patient, and yeah, on one heart, not something I'd recommend. Okay, so we're going to see if maybe Pedantic, well, he's down to half a heart too, so he's got to be careful. But if he can maybe find that second item out of here. If he does, and it's a heart container, for example, that would make him eligible to pick up the magical sword, which we have not seen on the overworld yet.
Yep, the magical sword also has a randomized feature. It can be anywhere between 10 and 14 hearts to pick up the magical sword. Can't be... And that'll do 4 points of damage. The wood sword does 1 point, the white sword does 2 points, the magical sword does 4. And the silver arrows also do 4.
That they do. Okay, JP's filling up on bombs and he's going to save. He may head back to 1. Yeah, and Pedantic's pushing on walls. In Second Quest 1, there are 1, 3, and I believe Second Quest 7, there are no walkthrough walls. There are in all the other Second Quest dungeons, but for whatever reason, Second Quest 1 and 3 in this flag set will not have the walkthroughs. And there's our official confirmation on Pedantic's side that the book does exactly what you said it does, which is allow us to understand the old man, because now that old man's talking about Pole's voice for some reason.
Well, we can understand him. It doesn't mean what he has to say is good.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Sometimes you kind of wish you didn't understand them because they either tell you information you already knew, or they just give you completely irrelevant information, and you're just like, why did I even bother stopping in?
Or they just talk for a long time.
Oh yeah, no, there are so you'll see, like the message there that says, why are Pole's voice immune to bombs, which is a fair question, but I can't answer it. But yeah, sometimes their message will just be ha, or sometimes it'll be something that's like a paragraph of text. It just kind of depends on what the randomizer wants to spit out. There's our second item in 1. It's the red candle.
All right, so JP should be, as long as he doesn't die in the next room, he should be able to get out of this one. Ugh, never mind. I don't think you can clip that. I think he's going to end up like pixels short of being able to clip onto that spot.
Wow, and I don't think, well, you might, the only other, yeah, there's no way you can double clip that. That's so annoying. But yeah, unless you can bomb in from the top, that ain't happening. You're going to need ladder for that too. Okay, so the real question now becomes, we've seen every level but 1, and it's what looks to be First Quest 8. Where's our ladder hiding?
Well, we found our Mags. Mags is at vanilla 5, so we're never going to go back there.
Yeah, especially with these runners being as talented as they are, and they already have White Sword, the added utility, unless you just happen to be over here. That's about the only reason you do it.
Yeah, unless level 8 is like up here at the vanilla White Sword location, or the First Quest White Sword location, then yeah, I don't see either of these runners coming back here. It's level 8, isn't it?
Okay, burn the witch. Yeah, 8 here.
If you don't, when you're experienced running, there's a little glitch where when you walk into a doorway, if you kind of walk too far into the doorway, it means that that's a level. I don't know why it does that. Just you get used to seeing visually that, oh, yep, this one's a level. So.
Yeah, and to be fair, we were running out of overworld spots that weren't power bracelet blocked. So, meanwhile, on Pedantic's side, as JP gets that heart out of the stair in 8, he could try to kill this Gliok if he wants to, but he's going to take the south exit instead. Oh, well, speaking of Gleox, and speaking of ladder, yeah, no, that's not going to work.
More Gleox. Jeez, this is a pretty gnarly seed.
Oh, is the game going to make you kill this Gleok in this spiral staircase room? That is just gross if that's the case. If the ladder is hiding in 8 behind this Gleok, that is so dirty.
Fortunately, it's only a 2-head Gleok, so we're not dealing with like 3 of those heads flying around the room. Oh, here's another boss right behind it. Trollhandler.
It's boss rush night. Okay, well, there's our second heart in 8.
That's not bad though. Now he's seen the floor item, so if he can find either the compass or the Triforce, then he can stop searching a lot of the rooms in this 8.
He absolutely can. I promise this did not turn on extra bosses, even though we've had 4 rooms in a row that have bosses in them. This is just ridiculous.
Yeah,
Is Goma in here? No, it's another boss!
We were discussing this last night. This randomizer, if you haven't played it before, if you're just getting into it, it has so many features. You can basically play almost vanilla game to one-hit KO, everything's a dark room, crazy nuanced stuff. But we can't program vanilla level 8 having garbage, okay?
Oh, but that's not... Did we... Okay, was that every room we saw on JP's side had a boss in it?
It was boss, floor drop, boss, floor drop, boss, boomerang, Triforce.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Oh, somebody clip that. That's funny. Oops, all bosses. There is a, if you've not seen in the randomizer before, there is a flag you can trip that allows you to turn on extra bosses to where you'll have something like that. But even with extra bosses on, I don't know if I've seen like 7 rooms in a row like that just, hey, did you want to fight all the things? Well, guess what?
Well, 6 also has a Triforce blocked by the ladder.
This is amazing. Where is this ladder?
I mean, they also still need the bow, so we're looking for both the ladder. The ladder is required for 3 Triforces and the silvers, and yet we still haven't found the bow.
Yeah, so the good news is, in terms of information for us watching here, we have all the information out of 4 of the dungeons. We've seen all the items out of 1, 2, 3, and 8. What we haven't seen are any of the items in 4, 5, 6, or 7. Well, thanks, old man. Remember how we were talking about the old man having useless information? That's a good example of that right there.
JP's up to 240 rupees, and he's saving specifically because of that. He's looking 225, I guess. He may be thinking about how many times he's been bodied this seed and looking to go get a blue candle. Or a blue ring. Blue candle.
Yeah, well, I mean, if that would double your defense, I'd buy that too. But yeah, no, I think you're making a really good point that at this point, there's not much else you need to buy. You know where silvers are. You have the letter, so you can get a potion whenever you want. It couldn't hurt at all after you top off on bombs. I mean, the only other thing you can really buy is a bomb upgrade and hints, and we haven't seen either of those.
Well, Pedantic just found a Goma in 6 that very likely is a push block. So hold your horses on that. We don't need the arrows yet.
Yeah, I mean, the ladder is going to unlock everything, and the question is where. We've got 4 dungeons where the ladder could be hiding. It cannot be hiding in 9 because by definition you need it to get into complete a dungeon that gets you entry to 9. So the seed would be unbeatable at that point. But JP's going to go do this mountain here and see if he can find something good. So Magic Friends, we got 4. Given what we know, we've got 4 dungeons left that we've seen, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and we don't have any items out of there. If you got to pick one, you're going to go. Well, you can't do 5, so throw 5 out because it's ladder block. If you got to do 4, or let's say 7, which one are you picking?
I'm still going to pick 4. I mean, 4 has the extra density of the extra item, and as much as 4 can be frustrating because it's got a lot of secret staircases, it's not that many less rooms than 7. It's just they're much more tightly packed, so there's a lot of like, let me check this wall, let me check that wall. But it's not. Our bombs are only 2 rupees, so that's also makes that a little easier. Pedantic's about to. Well, Pedantic's going to get the chance to check and see if this lower location bombs. Hopefully, if it bombs, then at least that's one of the ladder blocks we don't have to worry about.
All right, survey says no, you can't. It is a hard ladder block.
I mean, the common phrase for Zelda runners is, "Oh, get up that ladder." Thank you, JP. Sorry. The common phrase is, "It's never 7 until it is." So I wouldn't be surprised if it's 7.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. And we have our first a potion purchase on JP's side. It's a Pepsi night because the Pepsi variety, the single swig, is 29, but the double shot of Coke is 68. Botanic's going to burn the Triforce. That's not going to enable you to pick it up. It's just going to make it hot.
All right, so Pedantic has seen both items in 2, both items in 1, both items in 3. He has not seen any of the stuff at 8. He's going to get there. If he screen scrolls here, he'll get there very shortly. We also haven't seen the power bracelet yet, but I don't think we need it this seed.
Yeah, no, it doesn't block any dungeons, and I think we've seen all the overworld items we need to see. So, yeah, that's one of those items that if we find it in a dungeon, our runners will see and be like, "Oh wait, hey, oh wait, that's useless. Never mind." Oh, 10 heart mags check. Oh my gosh, it's 10 heart mags. Oh, that's so great. I love doing a 10 heart mags check because it's a 1 in 5 shot with this particular flag set that you'll be able to pick it up. And when you do, even if you've already got White Sword, boy, that feels good when it happens.
All right, well, that means that if JP does do the screen wrap, he will get his mags as well when he goes back to level 8. We know he didn't get the Triforce there, but he did get all the items out of it.
Yeah, and that's a really good point because he has 12 hearts now, so he's basically 60-40 to be able to pick it up. Pedantic's going to discover level 8 up here. We'll see how much quicker he's able to deal with the boss rush that is level 8. He's going to go down here and find... Well, yeah, I thought he might try and fight that Gliok. No, you can't fight that one at all, so... off to this one.
Yeah, this level 8 actually felt really linear, where you just had to follow the path they gave to you. You can't go to any of the rooms to the south because of the ladder block. And then you kill this thing, it gives you the first item. You kill the next thing, it gives you the next item.
Yeah, and to answer a question in chat, what's the damage difference between Magic Sword and White Sword? So the White Sword does twice the damage of the Wood Sword, and the Magical Sword does twice the damage of the White Sword. So it's 4 times the damage of the Wood Sword.
Alright, so that's 2 items out of 8 for Potato. That's both of the heart containers he'll find. He's probably going to kill this Dig Dogger. Oh, he's trying to avoid the Dig Dogger.
Okay, this 8's just so mean. You can't even bomb out of these boss rooms. You can't dodge this combat if you wanted to.
Alright, yeah, I believe if he goes north here, he'll end up finding this Aquamentus, which then he kills and gets his 3rd item, and then the very next room is... one of these rooms coming off of here has the Triforce.
Yeah, I think it's the one immediately to the north of here, because you see the magical boomerang. He's going to grab it. I don't mind grabbing it. Gives you some ranged ability to stun enemies if you need it. You know, some folks don't like it because it takes up an inventory spot in your B slot, but nothing wrong with having something else that'll bail you out of a sticky situation.
Well, there's a Triforce. So, I believe BrewersFan also got his Triforce out of 8, too. Now that I think about it, because it was basically free on the ground.
Yeah, no, they both have their Triforces at 8. So JP's got a 5-3 Triforce lead, but as level 5. Okay, now we know the location. It's just west of Spectacle Rock. But yeah, JP's gonna have to double dip 4.
Yeah, he's gonna have to double dip 4, or he may have to double dip 7. Potato hasn't done either of those yet.
Yeah, and JP's found 5 on his side. I think this was the one dungeon he hadn't seen yet, so he knows where all the dungeons are. It's just a matter of finding the right items at this point.
So if Potato's anything like me, the reason he's so stoked about having the mags is that all of our Tektites rolled up to the point where White Sword doesn't kill them. They start at 1 hit point, and somehow they rolled all the way to 3. This seed is our enemies can be anywhere between +2 and -2 hit points. And the Zols rolled up, so those also require a White Sword hit that doesn't kill them. It makes them split. So, but now the mags will definitely kill them. Mags does doing the 4 points damage means +2 doesn't matter to that.
Yeah, that's just no fun when you have to deal with rolled. There are some enemies that are far worse when they roll up. Yeah, and Zols and Vires that don't go down to 1 mag shot, it just feels gross.
All right, Pedantic has found the level 7 up at the vanilla letter shop way up in Casino Row. By the way, we call that Casino Row because there's usually there's a big money secret, and there's also a money making game up there usually. And he's going to take the Triforce. Let's see if he stays in here or leaves, because JP is back to go digging for items.
Okay, so we had talked about if you have to choose between 4 and 7 to dig, which one would you pick? And 4 has 3 items, but JP seems to be banking on the fact that 7 might have the answer here. And if he's right, it can be something that his opponent may last location.
So 7, this is going to be the first quest 7. So dungeons 7, 8, and 9 are going to look like our vanilla or first quest dungeons from the traditional game. 7 has a large triangle-shaped top half with a big lower half. We call it the dragon, even though I never understood why it was called the dragon. I don't actually see the dragon in the ink blot.
Yeah, I don't really either. But JP decided to take the stair here. Okay, well, we're going to get divergence here. Pedantic's in 4 looking for the ladder.
Yep, Pedantic is making the statistical play. There's 3 chances in here. And BrewersFan is making the meta play that a lot of times when seeds get really nasty, level 7 is hiding what you need.
That was certainly true in my race on Wednesday. Bo ended up being on the floor in 7, and I absolutely, positively last locationed it. And that can happen. So it's the kind of thing where if you have the opportunity to maybe zig where your opponent zags, and it pays off, it can really pay off.
And a lot of this is going to turn into luck. They're very close to each other in terms of where they are in the race. I mean, they could even end up just both in a spot where it's like, yep, that was beneficial for both of us. Like if one finds the bow, the other finds the ladder, guess what? They both got to go to do the other thing.
That is an excellent point. And we have seen races like that where, one runner's missing the bow, one runner's missing the silvers, and they both have each other's stuff. It's the you got my chocolate, you got your chocolate and my peanut butter type of deal. And at that point, it's a race to, okay, who's going to find the other thing first? Downside for both runners here is there's Triforce if Pedantic wants to pick it up. He's got the recorder, so it wouldn't be a bad play if he wanted to. But yeah, it's size-wise, 2nd quest 4, I believe, is 30 rooms, and I think first quest 7 is slightly more than 30 rooms. But
33 rooms of doom, right?
Yeah. Either way, it's not my idea of a fun Friday night, but it's certainly fun to watch.
So level 4 is going to have 2 staircase items and 1 floor drop. Level 7, there's a picture of level 7. It just looks, maybe it's, yeah, I don't know. I always thought it looked like a snake head, but then
Yeah,
in the manual it's called the dragon, I guess. I don't know.
it doesn't look like a dragon head. I'm with you. That's not what a dragon looks like.
I mean, I also grew up in the age of Trogdor, so like nothing looks like a dragon.
Ah, okay, that's very fair. Well, here's a bomb upgrade on JP's side. He's going to get it, and unfortunately, it's the minimum plus 2 bombs.
It still gives him more access to bombs and can be very helpful in level 9 too.
Yeah, and we are going to be up against a first quest level 9, which is huge, literally. There's an item on there's a floor item in 4. Unfortunately, we started with that.
It is technically a floor item.
Yeah, it's a floor item in the sense that we're just going to throw it on the floor because we don't need 2 rafts. But that is good useful information for Pedantic because now he's only looking for stairs.
Right, and he just took the 1 staircase that should be in this level 4. I believe there's only 1 in second quest 4.
I think you're right.
So now he knows I'm just looking for. I can skip any room that doesn't have a push block location. That's going to be a lot of those the rooms that have blocks in the center of the room, kind of like the one JP's in right now.
Okay, speaking of push block rooms, here's one that's a potential item.
Yeah, and these Pole's Voice normally take between 8 to 12 hits, but Pedantic, because he's got mags, is killing him in 3 hits.
Oh, well, that's a relevant item to find in a stair.
Alright, so no matter what now, JP has to go into 4.
Yeah, and if you're JP, you're hoping that ladder's in here and that it's not the case that both ladder and bow are in 4. Because if it is, you're behind.
Yeah, I mean, it could go either way. If he finds the ladder, he may gamble that the bow is in 9. So he's finding a heart container now. He still has the floor item in the 7, which can be very gnarly. You just have to clear every room.
Yeah, that's one of those you really hope you find the floor item first. But yeah, no, that's the concern, right? So no, I think you're exactly right.
Yeah, that's the other thing is that 6 has a good chance of being bow locked as well, because we saw a couple of Gomas in there. Do you like fish sticks? I don't know. Why are you asking if I like fish sticks?
I mean, I do, but that's kind of not the point of the game.
But I was just wondering, I thought those were supposed to be helpful hints. That doesn't seem helpful at all.
Is that supposed to be some sort of like Zora hint or something? Or I don't know. Yeah, now the annoying part for JP is he's just got to start clearing every room because one of these is going to have a floor drop in it.
Whereas Pedantic's just trying to find the blue bubble and get it without hitting a red one right after it.
And oh, the left mola. Oh boy. Well, but he's slugging it out. Okay, and this is a push block. So what do we have?
Power bracelet. Okay, power bracelet doesn't really help him much, but there may be. I'm not certain he's seen every single thing that he needs yet, so that it's possible he still could go check stuff with that. But that's all his items. That's all 3 of them. He just has to go back, get his Triforce, or up A to go get his Triforce, and then he's out of here.
Yeah, that's a relatively quick 4 for him, and I think maybe that was his first trip into 4. So if he's able to single dip this and get all 3 items and get out, that's very efficient on his part.
Yeah, he hasn't picked up the Triforce yet. He's got to go to the left here, and I think it's like 1 screen north. Oh, no, but it's the screen right here. All right, he is up to 5 Triforces, so he ties up the race with JP in terms of that. and he has a slight lead with the arrow and bow combo. But we're still missing that ladder, and all the other dungeons need ladder.
Yeah, so 5 is hard ladder block for everything. So really, if the ladder's not in 7, the only other place it can be is 6. But then the question is, well, how do you get there? How do you get to the spot where that is? Because it looked like, as you pointed out earlier, that there were some Goma blocks in the way.
Yeah, so this may be one of the seeds where you have to, like, quote, right order the seed. You have to get the ladder. You have to get the bow first. The bow grants you access to the ladder. The ladder grants you access to the silvers. If that's the case, then his best bet is to go back to 6. If not, then he's probably thinking, do I go into 7 because it's never 7? Do I have to go back and dig 5? Maybe like I forgot. Maybe I tried to bomb in the right spot and I didn't, or I didn't push properly. Like it's when it gets when you're at a minute when you're at an hour 5 and you're not even close to done, your brain starts playing tricks on you.
It really does, yeah. And if you're rooting for JP, I think his best hope is ladders on the floor here in 7, because that seems like a spot that Pedantic is going to put off until he absolutely has to. And if JP's routing is any indication, it's going to be a while to find it, just digging wise. Now, to answer your question in chat, would any of it be in 9? In theory, so in this flag set, we have something called important items in 9 can be on. So in theory, like the bow or silvers could be in 9. However, in this case, ladder could not be in 9 because ladder is necessary in order to get the Triforce out of... As there's the ladder in 7 for JP, that's got to be a huge relief for him.
Yeah, that was behind a couple of bomb walls on the opposite side of where you come in. So we now know that the 6 is going to yield a it might yield a Triforce for Pedantic, but it's not going to yield items. Really, the best thing he can find in here is a red ring. That is the worst thing you can find because he actually has the upgraded model already, so it can't even pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, he can. It's going to disappear the moment he picks it up. But yeah, Red Ring and Wand are about the only 2 items left that would give our runners any type of damage, defensive or offensive upgrades. Everything else is pretty much heart containers at this point. So really, in JP's case, he's headed back to 1. He wants to clean up his Triforces now that he has ladder. That makes some sense in the sense that having added Triforces when you have the whistle allows you to get around the overworld a little bit faster.
Yeah, we've had a lot of seeds where people have talked about could 9 have a bow, and if he's starting to clean up Triforces, it makes me think that he's worried about the bow being in 9. It's not definite. Maybe he just says, you know what, I can get this Triforce in 1 because it's right here, and then I'll go. But either he's going to get it and go straight to 9, or he's going to go into 5 and 6 and start digging there, and that's not the answer.
Yeah, and so it would make sense, I think, from a routing perspective, just map-wise. He's gonna do a mags check here, 13 hearts.
Yeah, get him his mags so catch up on his damage output.
This is smart routing on JP's part. If he's gonna do 1, then get mags, and then either he's fluting to. Where's he fluting to?
Oh, okay, so that makes sense. He used the mags. He used level 1 to give him a reason to make the mags check.
Yes. And now he's routing. It looks like maybe he's routing to go take care of 6.
Yeah, that would make logical sense for him. He's still got 2 items in that 6, and there was a ladder block in here as well as a Goma block.
All right, and for JP, this is good news that Pedantic's taking mostly a similar route in 7 as he did. So unless Pedantic up A's or dies in the dungeon, it looks like he's going to explore a bunch of the bottom half of the map where we know only the heart container in the stair is.
So right now, JP is trying to do a ladder clip. If you stand, again, just like how you can screen wrap, if you stand on the right pixel frame for the ladder, it'll let you blink across this spot here.
Yeah, oh, and chat making a really good point, routing-wise, that after 6, JP may also be routing in, because he's right near the silvers on the coast. Now that he can get those, this is as good a time as any to go grab them. So yeah, no, this is smart routing on JP's part.
Yeah, ironically, this feels like the kind of routing you get experience doing when you've done a lot of different randomizers like JP has. Like, you just start thinking logically, like, what is the shortest distance I can travel to do A plus B plus C?
Yeah, and JP's very good at it.
Alright, so Pedantic's getting into the lower jaw of this dragon, I suppose it is. And unfortunately our virus is also rolled up, so they will die even to a mag's hit. We're just gonna have to kill him with fire, because bunnies die to fire, I guess. Can you play a randomizer on a Nintendo Switch? I'm not going to tell you that you can, Plot Spider. I don't know all of the non-legal applications you can install on a Switch. But the randomizer requires a secondary program and it creates a second ROM. If you can open up a ROM in either an emulator or some other program on a Switch, you could probably do it. But I don't know. I can't confirm or deny that.
Yeah, and there are some folks who play on emulators, some folks who play on hardware. It's just kind of, it's personal preference, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah, most of the time people playing on hardware use what's called an EverDrive, which is a way to like upload a ROM to a plastic cart, almost like that works like a USB drive, and then it boots up the game as though it were on a cartridge.
Which is a really cool way to do it, but I'm not technologically savvy enough to pull that off, so I just do it the other way.
One thing about if you're going to get into the racing aspect, you do have to, most races are streamed, even like pickup races, you have to be live just for verification. So that's why most runners and a lot of runners end up on emulator, just because you already have to have your computer running and broadcasting your stream. You might as well just have it do all the rest of the work. It's an 8-bit game.
Very true, it is. Now, I will say, if folks are interested in toying with, there's the heart in this chair in level 7 for Pedantic. Before I started doing streaming of my own or racing competitively, like 12, 18 months ago, I just downloaded the randomizer on my own and played it on my computer just for fun, just to try things out, and would watch races on places like Twitch or like YouTube. So yeah, streaming is not necessarily a requirement to play the randomizer, but if you want to play it competitively or in events or things like that, or even like community pickup races, yeah, in order to do that, yeah, that requires the ability to stream.
Yeah, and if you go to the Z1 Randomizer's homepage, there's a link to our Discord server. There's a plethora of information. There's a wiki for Zelda for Zelda 1 that'll give you information about the randomizer, how to perform certain glitches or how to route certain ways, what things can get changed. That's a big thing that I would read about that can kind of catch you up. There's even some videos on there about how to do certain things, like how to fight Ganon in different rooms, because in the randomizer you can fight Ganon that's not in Ganon's room, so that can be very tricky.
Yeah, Ganon does like to mess with folks in the randomizer in a bunch of different ways, and that is certainly one of them. But yeah, as JP's going to get his Triforce out of 6, the Discord and the wiki and everything else have tons of information, and I will say that the Z1 randomizer community is definitely one of the most welcoming communities I've seen anywhere when it comes to new people coming in and wanting to learn the game and learn how learn tips and tricks and how things are done. This isn't the formula for New Coke. This is something where having more people in the who play the game, who do it for fun and practice at it and get better and do it for their own enjoyment, that's good for everybody. So all good stuff. And there are the silvers for JP.
All right, so JP has his silvers. Pedantic is in the right location to find his bow, but he just up-A'd. Or, sorry, to find his ladder. He just up-A'd, though?
Yeah. Oh, I think, yeah, this is kind of what JP did, I think. JP saw the bottom part of the map, realized he hadn't been over to the top left side yet, and found his ladder that way, I think.
Well, while the runners are cleaning up some of each other's checks, take a second, open up a second tab on your screen, and give both these runners a follow. JP does a lot of randomizer stuff, so he's live all the time doing both this and Link to the Past and a couple other things. And Potato is almost nightly in one of our weekly races. And like I said before, if you're in the weekly races, you broadcast them to your Twitch stream, so you can check him out too.
Absolutely, these are two very good runners, and they're nice people to boot. So, yeah. So Pedantic's looking for the ladder, and Pedantic will find it here shortly. Maybe even in this.
Right now.
There it is.
All right, so Pedantic is in go mode. He knows where his dungeons are. He has to go clean up a bunch of stuff. He knows where the silvers are, and other than combat advantages, nothing's going to slow him down.
Yeah, and the issue here is, and I think we can kind of see this coming, that JP just needs Triforce out here in level 5. The math might indicate that you should look, as the red ring is in the dungeon, in the stair in 5. That's going to be nice for JP.
And that's probably something that Potato's going to skip. If he finds the Triforce before he finds that ring, he's not going to spend the time to go back in here and look for it.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. And that can definitely come into play in a large level 9, like we're going to see here in a minute. But JP wants that Triforce right there. He's going to look for the other item because he's still looking for bow. And that raises the question of, once he gets the Triforce out of 5, does he head right to 9, or does he go to 4 and dig there? There are more items available. So the math would indicate that 9 makes a lot of sense, as Pedantic gets his Triforce out of 1, and that's a heart on the floor for 5.
Yeah, so that 5 was actually really fast for JP. That buys him enough time to... I mean, Pedantic still has to do a lot of cleanup. He has to clean up both 5 and 6, and he just whistled away. That might not be the best move, because he hasn't picked up those silvers yet.
Yeah.
Red ring and blue ring are combat advantages. They give you defense. The blue ring gives you double defense, so it means that something that normally would do 2 hearts of damage only does 1 heart of damage. And then the red ring gives you quadruple defense, which means something that does 2 hearts of damage now only does a half a heart of damage. Plot Spider, here's the thing. It's not so much gambling. Like, it would be gambling if he had like 8 checks left and was deciding to go to 9. But right now he has 2 checks in 9 and 3 checks in 4. So there's a 40% chance that it's in 9. But if it's in 9, he finishes the seed much faster if he goes there right now than if he digs it out. If it's in 4, he would have ended up having to dig out 9 anyways, because in 9 he can also get information about how to get to Ganon and how to get to Zelda.
Which is information he just got. He just found the path to Zelda 3 rooms in, and he's checking one of 14 different stairs that are going to be in this level 9. 6 sets of transport staircases and 2 item staircases.
So if he finds, say he finds the route to Ganon and Zelda, and then finds the 2 staircases relatively quickly, sorry, I thought I heard the roar, but it's just a dig dogger. Then when he does get the ladder, it's only going to take him 3 or 4 minutes to come back in, kill Ganon, go straight to Zelda, and be done. Whereas Potato may still be running around trying to figure out the route to Ganon. And you're gonna see him going really fast. So just take damage here, because with the red ring and 15 hearts, he's almost maxed out on hearts. Like, the only reason he's gonna fight a room is if it could be a push block. like this one. And if it's not, then he's just going to run through it. Like, you can get hearts wherever you need to. Just go as fast as you can, which is usually not by swinging your sword.
Yeah, and he's going to push as many push blocks as he can push, including this one. This is already his third set of transport stairs he's seen in this level.
Yeah, generally you don't take the transports, but here, every time he takes one, he actually crosses off 2 spots on the map that it could have been, because now he knows, okay, it's not the entrance, it's also not the exit. Alright, that's number 4 out of 6. So there's not many transports left. He may be able to clear this 9 pretty quickly. If he clears this 9 before Pedantic gets into the 9, then he's got a shot at being able to like come back this.
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, in 4, the bow is not that far away from start. It's not like you have to go dig forever to get it.
Yeah, the Pedantic ended up keep digging because he was still looking for the ladder. Oh, well, JP just found Ganon, too. Oh, no, never mind. Why did that not be Ganon?
I mean, it feels like it should have been Ganon, but I guess...
Like, it was dark, I heard roaring, and it got dark, and I was so excited.
Ganon's faking us out, I'm afraid.
Alright, so the Red Ring was on the route to the Triforce in 5. Pedantic just picked his up.
Okay, so the difference being that now once Pedantic gets his Triforce out of 5, he will be heading directly to 9. And there it is.
Yeah, okay, so Pedantic on his way to 9, full go mode. He just has to find Ganon, which JP, if he has heard Ganon, has not explored what room he's in.
He's bombing all around. It seems like he knows where Ganon is. It might be right here. Oh, no, it's not.
Well, he doesn't want to find it, so he's avoiding Ganon. But it's odd that, I mean, he's just got to find more transports. This is either, there's only, I think, 1 more transport and 2 staircases left, so this should be an item? No, come on! What a cruel 9.
Well, you're getting a full tour of level 9. Unfortunately, it only takes him 2 rooms away.
This feels like he has to go back to where he started and go in a different direction.
Yeah, if he can get to that bottom left, he may be able to find where Ganon is. But otherwise, yeah, he may be trying to do this ladder clip here.
Yeah, so JP cannot finish this level 9. No matter what he does while he's still in here, he cannot defeat Ganon. Unfortunately, we have not figured out how to use the silver arrows as a melee weapon yet, so they're actually in the same room as each other right now. And getting mugged. Which means that what JP is looking for is the 2 staircase items. If he finds the 2 staircase items, he will recognize that, oh, this is not the 2 items are not the correct ones. I need to go to a different dungeon. Once he does that, then he could go back into 4 and find the bow. Pedantic just needs to find Ganon and Zelda. Once he does, he will be able to complete the seed. Yeah, Tracy, I don't think he got everything out of 6 either, but 4 has all 3 items that he's missing. So it's very likely that he goes back to 4 because of his density. I think he's missing 1 item in 5, maybe, or 1 item in 6, maybe, but all 3 items in 4.
Yeah, and there was the old man clue about the silvers, which both runners have the silvers, so that's not Unfortunately, the helpful hint you'd like it to be, but well, here's a stair. Maybe it'll get JP some information. Oh no, wait, he's already seen this one.
Yeah, he's seen a couple of these actually.
I don't think he's seen this one, however, so he'll push this.
I mean, if he's clearing it, it's probably because he hasn't seen it yet. All right, wand. The wand is great until it's the item that you don't need right now.
Yeah, and this room's going to be a whole lot of nothing itself. I mean, I don't think it can. Well, it might be the map, but you don't need that at this stage. You need that other. You need that other stair. Yeah, JP hasn't gotten over to that far right column yet. He's going to try to bomb to the right here, see if he can get over there.
All right, that gets him to the right. This is another push possible. If you're a JP fan, you want this to push so they can get out of here. Oh, it's the last transport. Oh. All right, that's all 6 of them, so whatever next push block he finds is the correct spot. Oh, he hasn't done any of this bottom left corner.
Runners are basically, well, they high-fived briefly for a second there, but JP wants to clear out that right column because I think he suspects that's where the second item is hiding in a spot that's difficult to get to. If he can bomb up here, he can do it. Yeah, and you almost have to be able to bomb there because we've seen all the other stairs and none of them take you there.
Well, that's Zelda's room, so that's all the stuff on this right-hand side. Now he probably has to go back and take the transport he was just in and bring it back to the left side. I wonder if he dodged that left side because he heard Ganon over there when we weren't paying attention.
That, you know what? That's entirely possible. Pedantic's going to get the map. We know it's 1Q9, but yeah, so JP's going to kill this room, hop back in that stair. That's about the only part of the map we haven't seen yet.
And Pedantic's getting over to that section of the map, so if there is a Ganon over here, then he's gonna have a shot at finding it. But look at that bomb count on Potato's side.
Oh, and you're right, and we have seen this in other races between other competitors where someone runs out of bombs in 9, and that allows their opponent to catch up because they either have to farm for bombs or they have to leave 9 entirely to go out and buy them.
Right. You can go into the 2 rooms that the 9 are in. In first and second quest, you can get into these rooms that aren't visible on the map, but we don't. The shapes dungeons that create themselves, they don't have any invisible rooms. That would just be cruel. All right,
okay,
this
here's our
must be the
second
item, right?
And it's the heart.
I mean, that's the 16th heart. JP's out of here. Let's see if he goes to 4 or not. That's his. If he goes anywhere else, it's probably too slow.
The good news for him is 4's right here, 1 screen over. So he can jump right in and start digging. So he has to hope that Pedantic goes on a bit of a wild goose chase. Okay, JP down to half a heart here. Got to be careful, and that's just a key.
We also don't know where this Ganon is yet.
Yeah, the weird part is when you come in at start, you can't go to the left. So there's a chunk down in the southwest of level 9 that neither runner has seen. We've seen pretty much everywhere else, so he kind of has to be down there.
It feels like Pedantic's got to take a staircase somehow, but maybe the staircase that led to the items is the one that you need to take to get to Ganon. If that's the case, it's going to take him a while to get over there, but JP knows the route. that might pay off.
It very well might. Yeah, because that room where we saw that heart container was down in kind of the far left column on the bottom of that left column, which is 3 up from the bottom. So if Ganon is down in that bottom left, I'll call tooth, yeah, that could definitely open up things. To answer your question in chat, we don't remember where the bow is in 4. We know it's a stair item because the floor item in level 4 is the raft. It was the second of the 3 items that Pedantic found when he was in here.
Alright, Pedantic's down in this bottom right-hand corner. There's a bomb wall that can get him to the far right. But again, he's been a little low on bombs, and it can make you kind of gun-shy to use the last ones.
Yeah, and some of our more experienced runners will try to set up a bomb force here as Pedantic finds the wand. That's not exactly what he was looking for. But we'll try and do a bomb force here in situations like these, but Pedantic's just got to be careful and smart with his resources at this point. All right, here's a stair. I don't remember if this is the... Oh, JP's down to half heart. Got to be very careful.
Yeah, Poltergeist move really wonky. I always tell new runners, don't fight Pole's voice from above. Always fight them from below because they can jump. They are on a timer when they jump, but they jump very erratically. So if you can, stab them from below or from the side. Never fight them from the top. Yeah, we went through this whole section. That's Zelda though, right? Was that Zelda's room?
Yes, it is.
But he didn't clear it, so he doesn't know if that's Zelda's room or not.
He will if he goes north from this room, because he'll see the shutter door on the right, or up one more. Because he'll see the shutter door that will not open when that room is cleared. Yep,
Okay,
and there's
so
the answer. So that is Zelda's room. All right, now this stair will take Pedantic over to the far left column, and if Pedantic goes right and tries to go down, that'll get him to a part of the map we haven't seen yet.
JP just died to the left-hand blue Molo.
Ugh, that's just gross.
There's a roar, finally.
Oh, but Pedantic's out of bombs!
Oh no! And, well, okay, you can go south here. Maybe there's something to help us over there.
Yeah, the room south here for Pedantic is the other item room, and there is a door over there, so he can get over there if he needs to. Now, is this Ganon?
Yep,
yes, it is.
Ganon. Alright, Mags, he's going to need 4 stabs with Ganon. He can take a ton of hits from this. He just got to get the stabs off.
He's doing the risk-averse play. Just set up shop here in this bottom left corner and just stab and wait for Ganon to come to you.
Because of Ganon's hitbox starts in like the top right corner, so it's very difficult for him to get in this left-hand side.
There he is, and down goes Ganon. We have the Triforce in hand. Now it's just getting back to start. Yep, Pedantic's going to up an A.
Oh, and that Blue Land Mola room is the bow room, isn't it? Oh no, it's the power bracelet room. Oh. Well, that's the second item. Now JP's just looking for the last one, but it's going to be too late.
Yep, and that'll do it. And get your GGs in chat, everybody, for your race winner this evening, PedanticPotato, with an official racetime.gg finish time of 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 33 seconds.
This was a very close race right up until, even after the runners got the bow and the ladder almost at the same exact time, but the fact that the ladder allowed you to get all the Triforces was whereas the bow did not, really ended up benefiting Pedantic more than JP.
It really did, and this was a race that could have gone either direction for the vast majority of it. But yeah, just the bow not being in 9, and that has been the number for. There's the raft on the floor for JP, unfortunately. Yeah, and this stair is the other end of that transport. So, yeah, but last locationing an item you need does not feel great, but it happens a lot in this flag set, and it kind of happened here. But this was a tight race pretty much all the way through.
Yeah, I'd say till about maybe 105 or 110, these runners had the exact same gear set, the exact same item knowledge, the exact same location knowledge. It just really turned into which one of them could get into 9, and that meant that JP dug every single room out of 9 before he came back to this 4. And there's his bow.
Yeah, and that's not going to feel great to last location it, but you've got it now. And the good news is, by virtue of being finding that second item room in 9, JP has all the necessary information. He knows where the girl is. He knows where Ganon is. So this should take him just a matter of a couple minutes to wrap up.
Yeah, 2Q4, it looks like you should be able to go like wherever you want because it's so thick. And then you start, the big problem is there's almost no bomb walls in 2Q4. I think naturally there's like one bomb wall, and then sometimes the randomizer can add a bomb wall if something gets messy. But yeah, JP found 4 earlier than... The big thing was JP found 4 before they had found all the dungeons, and JP decided, you know what, I've got the Triforce very early, I'm going to leave this 4 for later, and he ended up in a situation where he had 2 items in 9 or 3 items in 4, and he took the gamble to go to 9 and try to finish quickly, and it just didn't pay off. You know, that's the kind of coin flip that you make every time you run.
Yeah. So, and this'll be it for JP getting in here. So get your GGs in chat for our second place finisher this evening, BrewersFanJP. Official racetime.gg time of 1 hour 35 minutes and 47 seconds. An over 90-minute seed, and the difference is just 3 minutes. Okay, so we're trying to get PedanticPotato in the booth. We're having some Discord issues, and JP's not going to be available for an interview this evening, so give us just a second, and we'll see if we can get Pedantic in here.
Yeah, that's the big thing, Trace. That's the big thing. Like, 9 can be gigantic, and 9 can be... and yes, it was like, from JP's point of view, it's 40% chance to be a 9, 60% chance to be in 4. But if it's in 9, JP's done at like 120. And he wins the race. If it's in 4, then, well, Pedantic still has to go through all of 9, and maybe JP finds the items fast enough. It just turned out that the 2 items being on polar opposite sides of the dungeon really hurt in this case. Like, he found 5 different staircases very quickly, and none of them were an item. Exactly. Yep. If you go to 4 and you dig all 3 items out and you're wrong, now you end up, you feel behind and you still have no information in 9.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're having trouble getting Pedantic in the race room tonight, so We're gonna give it one more shot, but yeah, give us just a second.
Oh, Potato's in chat with us right now. So everybody, give Potato GG in chat, since he's here in chat with us while we're trying to figure out the booth stuff. And while you're sitting there in chat, Potato, why don't you tell us how it felt to look at that Death Armor screen 18 times? Because I don't know if we want that repeated on the YouTube upload.
Yeah, he's saying in chat the 2 dungeons he didn't want to dig, 2Q4 and 1Q7 had everything. And like, yeah, the game does that sometimes.
Yeah, that was the epitome of Death Armor. So I don't think I've seen a nastier Death Armor screen. Blue and red and blue Gurias all on the same Death Armor screen is like, I would probably just stop trying to get the item.
Yeah, that's one way to get your seed starters, just getting beamed right in the face, unfortunately.
Most of the seed did feel real bad though. Yeah, so Potato, the big difference between you and JP was that JP found the ladder in 7 almost the exact same time you found the bow in 4, but because he found the ladder, he decided to dig out the other dungeons, level 1 and level 5 and level 6, that he wasn't able to access the Triforce for, and once he finished those, he went to 9 looking for the bow.
Yeah, and it was a very close race through much of it. I mean, you had the lead for a while, then JP would have the lead for a while. And yeah, Pedantic, you're exactly right. Digging for first paid off for you, not just because you were able to find the necessary items and you were able to find the bow in 4, but also because you did it all in one go, which ended up saving you a good chunk of time. Yeah, with the ladder being in 4, that's a really good point, because you don't know this, but when you watch it back, you'll see that when you were in 4, when you were in 7, JP, no, it was the other way around. When you were in 4, JP was in 7, and and both bow and ladder were still outstanding. And we were wondering if I think we had said at that point that if bow and ladder are in 4, that's pretty much GG's. But it turned out ladder was on the floor deep in 7. So it ended up being anybody's race still at that point.
And both of you took the same amount of time in 7. You both took almost the exact same route where you cleared all the bottom section, all the right side, and then realized you could not bomb into that one room and was finally able to get it.
Yeah, very, very true. Well, unfortunately, Discord is being Discord and being annoying, so it's not seeming to want to let our runners into the booth tonight. So, yeah, and Pedantic saying, he was nervous at the end, and both of you spent a good amount of time in level 9 trying to find the way. It was a weird path to get to Ganon. You couldn't go to the left at start, and that's where he was the bottom left. But you ended up playing really well, and you've punched your ticket to the brackets, so congratulations.
Yeah, so for those of you not knowing, we're in the Swiss rounds of a tournament. There's going to be 5 Swiss rounds. Next week will be the final week. Everybody who ends with 3 wins out of their 5 races will get to go straight to a March Madness style bracket. Everybody who has 2 wins at the end of the round will have a play-in phase. almost like a first four, where runners will have a couple of races to compete against each other in like a group, and the top finisher from each of those groups will also move on.
Absolutely. So week 5 is going to determine a lot about who's in kind of the 2 and 3 mad scramble and who makes brackets. So JP is by no means out of it. I know he was frustrated with how this race ended, but JP's 2 and 2. If he wins next week, he's in brackets. So a lot left to play for JP, and JP played really well. The overworld combat here was not kind in the slightest, but great race all the way around for both our runners tonight.
And even if next week doesn't go well against him, maybe because I beat him, I don't know, we'll see. I'm also in the 2 and 2 group.
Yeah, me too, actually.
So even if it doesn't go well, you still have a phase where you get put into like a 3 to 4 man group and do a couple of races Mario Kart style to see who comes out of that group. Unfortunately, JP was not going to be able. JP is BrewersFanJP, who used to go by JP BrewersFan. I don't how his name works. I don't know. But he wasn't able to join us in the booth tonight.
Yeah, it's late, and so totally understand. But great race by both runners tonight. So it's getting late, Magic friends. This was fun, and special thanks to Special K doing the tracking behind the scenes. Always pleasure to work with both of you guys. Any final thoughts tonight as we wrap everything up?
The only thought I have is that if you want more information about the tournament, you can jump in the Discord server. I just threw a link up in the chat for the Z1 Randomizer Discord server. Hop in there, and if you go to the 2024 tournament, you can see the pairings for each week. You can see tournament clips, and you can get more information about playing the randomizer.
Absolutely, great call and great call out. This was a fun race, and if you're interested in more races to watch maybe this weekend, there's a bunch of races that are going to be going on throughout the day tomorrow on the SpeedGaming family and network. So keep your eyes peeled on that, and if you want to jump in the Discord and hang out with everybody and learn more about the game, please do.
That's all for me, and we'll wish you all a good night, friends.
Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you with more Zelda Randomizer action coming up tomorrow and through the rest of the tournament. Have a good evening.